marking Bangabandhu's homecoming. Prime Minister pays respect at portrait of Father of the Nation, marking his historic homecoming day. Awami League imbued with ideals of Bangabandhu, working for people's welfare, says Obaidul Qadir after paying respect at Bangabandhu's portrait. Philippine banker Maya Diguito sentenced 56 years jail term for thieving Bangladesh bank reserve. China extends support to probable second meeting between US President Trump and North Korean leader Kim. And in English League Cup semi-final, Manchester City beat Burton Albion 9-0. Assalamu alaikum. This is News at 10 on BTV World and BTV Chattogram Centre. I'm Imtiaz Ahmed Siddiqui, and joining me tonight,
I'm Shamim Khan, welcoming you all. Those were the headlines. We now move on to the news in details. Urging BNP to find out the reasons behind its defeat in the last general election, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said a party that failed in mobilizing people for a movement cannot win public support in the election fray. The Prime Minister was addressing a discussion marking Bangabandhu's homecoming day from Pakistani prison on January the 10th, 1972, after Bangladesh got independence, defeating Pakistani occupation forces in a 9-month bloody war. Bangladesh Awami League Central Working Committee organized a discussion at Bangladesh Krishi Vidyut Institution this afternoon. The Prime Minister said BNP has many reasons for the defeat in the December 30, 2018 election. One is the failure to wage anti-government agitation involving people. Asked BNP to find the causes of the defeat, Sheikh Hasina said that a political party which failed in movement cannot win the election, and it was proved in the 2018 election. Other reasons for BNP's debacle in the election is the misdeeds in 2013, 2014 and 2015. The Prime Minister said, adding that people did not forget the mayhem when the torch more than 3,900 transports burnt more than 3,500 people, of whom more than 500 succumbed to injuries. The Prime Minister questioned how BNP could expect win in the election after putting the nomination on auction. She said choosing a fugitive convict to head the party is also a major cause of BNP's defeat in the election. The Awami League President urged all leaders and workers of Awami League to work with dedication and sacrifice to materialize the dream of Bangabandhu. Meanwhile, Awami League leaders taking part in a discussion marking homecoming day of Bangabandhu, they said Bangabandhu gifted us an independent state and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina brought economic freedom for the country. The discussants said though Bangladesh got victory on 16 December 1971, the actual liberation was tasted on 10 January 1972 when Bangabandhu returned to his beloved motherland. They said Bangabandhu expresses firm determination to work for political and economic freedom of the mass. But the spirit of liberation war was abandoned after the assassination of Father of the Nation on 15 August 1975. Daughter of Bangabandhu, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is now working to achieve the unfinished task of Bangabandhu, that is, the economic freedom for the country, they added. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina paid rich tribute to Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, on the occasion of homecoming day of the great leader. The Premier said the homage by placing wreaths at the portrait of Father of the Nation in front of Bangabandhu Memorial Museum and Dhanmondi this morning. After laying the wreaths, the Prime Minister stood in solemn silence for some time as a mark of profound respect to the memory of Bangabandhu, the architect of independence. Flanked by ministers and central leaders of the party, Sheikh Hasina, also the President of Bangladesh Awami League, placed another wreath at the portrait of Bangabandhu on behalf of a party. After placing wreaths by the Prime Minister, the leaders and workers of associate organizations of Awami League placed floral wreaths at the portrait of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman at Dhanmondi today. Besides, wreaths were also laid at the portrait of Father of the Nation on behalf of different socio-cultural, freedom fighters and professional organizations. After placing wreaths, Awami League General Secretary Ubaidul Qadir told journalists the people of the country have rejected those who do not show respect to Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman.
Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmi Chaudhary has said that media is very important to strengthen democracy of the country. She told that January 10 is a historic day in Bangladesh when Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, returned home. The Speaker made these remarks while inaugurating a day-long program marking Kalir Konto's founding anniversary at Bosundhara residential area in the capital today. People from different classes and professions and media personalities, including Iqbalur Rahim MP, editor of Kalir Konto, Imdadul Haq Milon, and president of FBCCI, Shafiul Islam Mohiuddin, were present on the occasion. The Speaker hoped that the Kalir Konto would publish objective news with maintaining the spirit of liberation war and speaking for people of Bangladesh. Road Transport and Bridges Minister Ubaidul Qadir has said the ongoing programs will have to be more dynamic to bring back discipline in roads and highways across the country. He said this at a press briefing at Bangladesh Secretariat in Dhaka today. The minister stressed the importance of bringing back the discipline of motor and non-motorized transports plying on roads and highways. He said the Dhaka-Sylhet highway will be developed into a 4-lane one. Besides, the government is undertaking the construction of more 5 mega projects, including metro rail, for the communication infrastructural development. Information Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood has said that the media people perform their duties for development activities of the government and the society by taking risks, so necessary steps will be taken for their welfare. He made these remarks while receiving greetings from different organizations of the journalists at the Secretariat today. At that time, Information Secretary Abdul Malik and other high officials of the ministry were present. Mentioning the profession of journalism as a risky job, the Information Minister told that welfare-oriented steps would be taken for the media people. Pointing out that Bangladesh has progressed a lot in the last 10 years, Dr. Hassan Mahmood said that the television journalism in the country has been flourished with the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Finance Minister A.H.M. Mustafa Kamal, Minister for Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs Advocate Anisul Haq, and Private Sector Development Affairs Advisor to the Prime Minister Salman F. Rahman MP paid tributes to Father of the Nation Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman at Tungipara in Gopalganj today. They paid rich tributes by placing wreaths at the shrine of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Later, a special munajat was offered, seeking eternal peace of the departed soul. After paying tributes, Finance Minister H.M. Mustafa Kamal told that the GDP growth rate will boost more in this current fiscal. He expressed hope that the growth rate will be achieved from 8.25 to 8.30% in the current fiscal.
Labour Secretary Afroza Khan has said the government is sincere to solve the problems erupted following the new wage structure of ready-made garment industries. She also urged RMG workers to return to work, keeping trust upon the government. Afroza Khan made the call following a meeting of the committee formed to evaluate the new wage structure for RMG workers at the Secretariat this afternoon. Members of the Parliament, Salam Murshidi, BGMEA President Siddiq Rahman, FBCCI President Shafil Islam Mohiuddin and representatives of garment owners and RMG workers were present at the meeting. The Labour Secretary said all have to work unitedly to protect the garment sector, as there are a number of evil forces who are active to destabilize the country's main export earning sector. A Philippines court on Thursday held a former bank manager guilty on 8 counts of money laundering, the first conviction in one of the world's largest cyber heists, in which $81 million was stolen from Bangladesh's central bank nearly 3 years ago. The regional court sentenced Maya Deguto, a former branch manager at Manila-based Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation, to a jail term ranging from 32 to 56 years, with each count carrying 4 to 7 years. She was also ordered to pay a total fine of about $109 million. In February 2016, unknown criminals used fraudulent orders on the SWIFT payment system to steal the funds from Bangladesh's central bank account at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York.
And now international news. Chinese President Xi Jinping has told North Korean leader Kim Jong-un that Beijing supports a second summit between the North Korean leader and the US President Donald Trump, adding that he hopes they meet each other halfway. The report by Xinhua news agency today came a day after Kim concluded an unannounced 2-day trip to China. Political settlement of Korean Peninsula issue faces a rare historic opportunity, she said during Kim's visit to the Chinese capital. For his part, Kim said North Korea will make efforts to achieve results that will be welcomed by the international community at the next summit by the United States. President Donald Trump has walked out of a meeting with Democratic leaders as negotiations broke down on the 19th day of a partial U.S. government shutdown. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer stuck by their refusal to fund his U.S.-Mexico border wall, prompting Trump to call the meeting a total waste of time. Democrats again accused the president of throwing a temper tantrum. The first payday since the shutdown began is due on Friday for 8 lakh federal workers who will go unpaid. The Coordination Committee of the tribal organizations will enforce a Bandh in Assam tomorrow against the Constitution Scheduled Tribes Amendment Bill 2019. Assam has already been witnessing shutdown and protests over the Citizenship Amendment Bill 2016. Meanwhile, 3 Assam Gana Parishad ministers resigned from the Assam cabinet yesterday, 2 days after their party exited the government over the Citizenship Amendment Bill. The Lok Sabha on Tuesday passed the Citizenship Amendment Bill 2016 despite a backlash from opposition parties.
17th Dhaka International Film Festival has begun in the capital today. Former Finance Minister Abul Mal Abdul Muhid inaugurated the film festival as chief guest at the National Museum. State Minister of Foreign Affairs Shahriar Alam chaired the inaugural function, which was also addressed by Director of Rainbow Chalachitra Shangshad Ahmed Mujtaba Jamal, Information Secretary Abdul Malik and Festival Executive Committee member M. Hamid. The organizers said a total of 218 films from 72 countries will be screened at the 9-day-long film festival. People from all walks of life can watch the films at Central Public Library, National Museum, Shilpakala Academy, Blockbuster Cinemas and Alliance Francaise in the capital. Students showing identity cards can watch the films free of cost. A Turkish-Jordanian joint venture film, The Guest, was screened at the inaugural ceremony. The Election Commission will declare the election schedule next week for the reserved seats for women in the Jatiya সংসদ. Election Commission Secretary Hilaluddin Ahmed has said that as per the seats secured by the political parties in the last general election, Awami League will get 43 seats, Jatiya Party 4, Oiko Front 1 and independent candidates and other parties will get 2 seats. He made the remark while talking to reporters at his office at the Nirbachan Bhavan in the capital today. Hilaluddin Ahmed also informed that the Upazila election will be held from the first week of March in phases and the work of making voter lists of expatriate Bangladeshis will begin from April. And now news on sports. Manchester City trashed Burton Albion by 9-0 with an incredible display of attacking football in the first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final at Etihad Stadium. Gabriel Jesus scored 4 goals while Kevin De Bruyne, Alexander Zinchenko, Phil Foden, Kyle Walker and Riyad Mahrez also scored 1 goal each for Man City. This was the first time in more than 31 years the City had scored more than 8 goals in a single match. The second leg will take place at the Pirelli Stadium on 23rd January. And now to end the bulletin, a recap of the top stories. People of Bangladesh born with the spirit of liberation war do not support war criminals and associates, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at a discussion marking Bangabandhu's homecoming. Prime Minister pays respect at the portrait of Father of the Nation, marking his historic homecoming day. Awami League imbued with the ideals of Bangabandhu, working for people's welfare, says Obaidul Qadir after paying respect at Bangabandhu's portrait. Philippines banker Maya Deguto sentenced 56 years jail term for thieving Bangladesh Bank Reserve. China extends support to probable second meeting between US President Trump and North Korean leader Kim. And an English League Cup semi-final, Manchester City beat Burton Albion 9-0.
And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for being with us. Our next bulletin is coming up at 11:30. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz.